Yo, welcome back to just more work. So, let me get you where I'm at because I've been out here for quite a few hours just doing knick-knack things. I got, we'll start in here. I got the brake pedal switch all hooked up. Of course, you're not gonna be able to see it. Yeah, there's no way. Just so these two wires right here run into the back of the brake switch. Remember the 4-prong brake switch you need? Got that hooked up. I got ignition hooked up. Obviously, I got my power steering pump, alternator bracket, all done. Issue is this bad boy doesn't fit right there anymore because of the alternator. Also, so this is the cheap Amazon bracket. It was like $55. Also, you can't really. Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah. Okay. So, just don't have anything so close to the cap and you might be able to get it off. So, obviously, now I am going to have to go back to the idea of putting the battery in the trunk. I just ordered an $8 battery tray, so maybe later I'll run my wires. Really, all I need, I'm going to take this wire that goes to the positive post and I'm just going to run it that way up through the cab. I got my ECU mounted. I got the fuse block mounted. That should close with the hood. I guess we'll find out. Any wires that I'm going to need in the cab are ran. I just got to clean these up. Basically just move them out of the way. I'm going to use the green fan relay. Well, the green and the pink. For when I put an electric fan on it. But all the other wires will not be used. So they will just be hidden. What else? I feel like I did something that I'm not telling you. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't remember. I got water pump painted, the spacers that I'm going to use behind it painted, swivel neck painted. I think I have a tensioner in the attic. Oh, look at my shifter. Didn't my lift shifter look so good? I know. Everything I touch looks good. But yeah, so there's more knick-knack stuff. Need to do the power steering line. Need to put the water pump on. Need to put the tensioner. Well, need to look for a tensioner. And then I need to take this battery tray back out. And then start putting the battery in the trunk. All this stuff is going to get cleaned up and zip tied up here with the brake line. Like that. Well, yeah, so just knick-knack stuff. Nothing too crazy. I'm going to get up there and look for a water pump or the tensioner for the water pump, and then we'll just go ahead and throw the water pump on and just keep on keeping on. Not 100% dry because it's not 8,000 degrees in Texas anymore. Don't scratch my fresh Rust-Oleum paint. Now remember, you got to use these spacers if you're running an LS1 style water pump. If you're running an LS1 style water pump with a truck crank pulley. If you put a car crank pulley on it, you don't need spacers. Wrong side, that's right. There we usually don't use these paper ones up against the block in the water pump. I use the Felpro ones, but I can't find them. I have some brand new ones, so I'm too lazy to look. So we're just going to use the paper. And if she leaks, she leaks. Wouldn't be the first time, you know what I'm saying? Sorry. Well. And then I like using these spacers because they have this fitting, and I use that for the coolant, for the coolant crossover. I almost said the coolant temp sensor. For the coolant crossover, rather than having to splice the upper radiator hose and use one of the adapters. Now, if you're one of those boomers that's putting on RTV on these water pump gaskets, stop it. It's not needed. Just like this one's gonna hurt some feelings. Just like a double roller timing chain. It's not needed. It is 2025, not 1985. Ay, ay, ay. I'm over here talking mess and I can't even line up water up. One, I can't talk. Two, I can't line up water pump gaskets. It dropped, didn't it? Okay. Let's see if I can do this all in one shot. Yes, sir. But where did that other bolt go? Okay. Water pump is on. Water neck is on, but something didn't feel right about that thermostat. So we're just gonna have to see. The factory radiator is worse than I thought. So there, a little bit down here, It's already been patched once. There was the big one. There. So, we're just gonna see what she does. If she don't keep her cool, then we'll know what this is. Or just spend 185 bucks and buy an aluminum radiator. I guess. Let me at least. No. Yeah. I'm just gonna buy the aluminum radiator because I might as well just throw this back in the backyard. Oh shit. So check this out. I might be speaking too soon, but this is the piece I took out of the power steering pump that the factory high pressure line would have gone into. And because I'm going to run, I still haven't found that water pump bolt. And I legitimately am mad about it because it fell right here. And it's brand new and it's shiny and it is gone. Anyways, this one I pulled out. And then I just pulled these out of a radiator in the backyard. I almost threw away forever ago. I don't even know how long I had it. And I just went to test fit it and it fits. So this came out of some radiator that was probably in a GM vehicle. This was to run AN line for the transmission lines to the radiator. Now you're thinking, what's the significance in that? Well, hold on. This is typically the AN fitting I use in the power steering pumps that I do swaps in. It's basically GM, all GM. And I was thinking, okay, I'll just throw it in my satellite's gearbox because it should work. Of course, it doesn't. So, but now I got it fixed. Put this copper washer on it. Put this in. It threads right in. Bam! So, long story short, don't throw away old crappy radiators because you never know. You never know where your water pump bolt's gonna go when it drops 2 feet in front of your face. Okay. This is a pre-made line I've had for I don't know how long. It was for fuel rail, aftermarket fuel rail to connect them. So, and I know it doesn't leak because I used it, and it's going to be my power steering hose now. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. Not as pretty as your mom, though. Okay. Tighten these up, and power steering will be engaged. Ay, ay, ay. Welcome back. it is the next day. I really just finished tinkering, wiring stuff. I'm not a fan of this. I might flip the computer around to where this is facing up. That way I can run this loom higher up on the fender well rather than down there. I got the heater hoses hooked up. I got a belt on. I got a lower radiator hose on. Chopped it up to fit. I'm just gonna, I lied again. I'm just gonna reuse the radiator. I ordered the $190 aluminum one yesterday, plus the fan, plus just a single 16-inch fan, and that was like 220 something bucks. And I just need that money in other places now. So I'm gonna keep the electric fan, and I'm just gonna send back that radiator. I got a belt on, obviously. And there's a reason we got this out. And that is because, can you see anything wrong with this? Yeah, I kind of need to put an intake on, an air intake. And you can't do that because this bracketry is set up for a truck intake, which sits higher than a car intake. So, looks like we're going to be putting old girl on. And if I ever do re-brackets, that don't make no sense, Anthony. Whenever I get an ICT set up, I'll run what I did on the CUDA, where the alternator sat low over here, and then the power steering sat low over there, and then obviously the belt doesn't get in the way of all this. But for now, the cheapest option is to just throw this on. And that's what we're going to do. So, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not even going to clean it. At this point, I don't care. I'm still going to do different coil packs and different valve covers. So that stuff's just going to stay dirty looking until I care enough to change it out. Because we are at the point where I'm ready to just get this over with. I've done my best to make everything pretty as we go along, and it looks really good, of course, but now we are in, just get it on the road. I tried. I did as pretty as I could with what I had. I should have paid more attention to the parts description. That was from Amazon, and I legitimately don't think it said anything about not fitting a car intake. But yeah, here we are. So let's let's take this intake off, throw this whole girl on, and hope that it fits under the hood, which I think it will because we got that bulge in the hood. So we're going to have some more space up this way. If not, I'll cut that factory GTX hood up. I think I won't. Okay, let's throw this on and continuing. Got to put the battery in the trunk today. Finish up wiring. That way, when the drive shaft gets here tomorrow, test drive. I mean, look, these tires aren't sitting all crooked like they were with the last engine in it, and I haven't touched anything. All I've done is taken a couple 100 pounds off the front end. The front end did go down a little bit. It did settle some. Once I bet if I turn the knob loosey-goosey on those QA1s and soften up the shocks, it'll probably go down a little bit too. But I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it right there and just kind of see what it does, because I'm sure driving when it gets to doing all this bouncing, it'll probably settle even more. So maybe I'll just leave that alone. But anyways, let's get back to what I was saying. That's just razzle dazzle. Well, looks like I in fact will be using the aluminum radiator that comes tomorrow and not sending it back. Anyways, let me show where I'm at. It's been about 3.5 hours since you last saw me. And aside from the radiator and the cooling fan, and I can't get a gosh darn oil cap to fit for nothing. It's a Gen 4 valve cover. All I have is Gen 3 oil caps. I ordered a new valve cover that said it fit an '09 Chevy with the 6.0, and it doesn't. It's a Gen 3 because it has the two. Well, let me show you the difference. So it's got a prong there and a prong there. And we only need one. So still got that issue, but obviously, as you can tell, it is all back together and it is all on. I just mounted this so that was facing down. I just turned it. It gave me a little more slack for me to run it over the shock tower like that. So all that is done. Hopefully the hood closes with this, but it should. The hood should end right here. So we'll find out, or I just won't run a hood. Obviously we got all the clearance here. All that's left is the radiator, electric fan, and then I need a nipple for the coolant crossover to go into that spacer. Of course, O'Reilly, somebody did the old bait and switch. They put an 1/8 nipple or a quarter. Which one did I need? An eighth or a quarter? I think I need an eighth. Which one's less? Is it an eighth or a? No, I needed a quarter. I think somebody. Anyways, God damn, she's still pissing. You's thirsty, huh, girl? You's a drinker. But everything is wired up. Alternators running to charge the battery. Got it all nice and pretty. Look at that. I even used one of those bad boys. Everything hidden. Everything zip tied. I just need to kind of zip tie that out of the way. There we go. Perfect. Done. I got it all running. Oh no, let's grab you the light. Let's grab you the light so you can see. Because it's only 12 p.m. in the afternoon and it's damn near pitch black. So there we go. I just need to zip tie that red wire to the rest of the bundle. But yeah, got it all. Zip tie the brake switch wires too. Oh, there's the brake switch. There you go. So the front two prongs that you see the black, that's the factory wires, and then those are the two added wires for the torque converter lockup. And then it's all running under there, hidden. And then got just finished up the battery tray. Got the battery all done. Well, that's the fuel pump wires. Everything done. So now, don't worry, I made sure to mount it where it's nice and rusty. Now, typically, you would mount the battery over here for the whole weight distribution, but I'll have enough cows in the passenger seat to off-balance all that, if you know what I mean. Upper radiator hose, I had to cut two up to make one. And then lower radiator hose, I just, like I told you earlier, God, you're still going? Well, at least it's clear. It means you're hydrated. So now let's get in her. And not like that. Come on now. Make sure there ain't no leakage. And start her up again. Actually, I need to make sure. Oh, good job, Anthony. Put the air filter directly over the oil dipstick. Good thing she's a flexible girl. Yeah, we're good. Look at that. Look at that. One-handed. Come on. Just imagine hair. Well, there's too much. I can't get it in. You've got to be. This is why I haven't recorded much, because it's just been one dumb thing after another. Look, you keep. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Now that I got oil all over my fingers. Okay. Everything's good. Nothing's touching. Everything's all nice and hidden, tucked away. Now you're probably wondering, oh, why'd you put that like that? Because it's going to get all the heat from the header well. It won't fit anywhere else. Radiator is too high on that side to go that way. If I turn this any higher, it'll definitely hit the hood. Can't go there. There's not really any room there. And then it's really getting hot air sucked into it because there's no movement here for air. So this is kind of the only open space there was. If anything, I could cut some louvers into this right here, but that's a whole nother day. I need to make some little brackets for the transmission cooler. I got my relay already set up to go. I just need the fan. But yeah, oh, I need to put power steering fluid in first. Whew. Let's do that and then start her up. Make sure she still runs worth a damn. All right, I got some power steering fluids in her. Let's, oh, I need to tighten this up. Actually, that's what I need to do. I need to make sure that's charging. How about we do that while we're at it? Stay. Don't get me started. Stay. Stay. Stay again. Stay, please. Make yourself useful. Okay, there we go. So, we got us a charged battery. I shouldn't need earmuffs, but let's see. Okay. The battery is a tad bit dead. Okay. Good to go. Let's try that again. Oh, brother. I'm sorry, I tried. We're losing him. What the? What in the world is going on now? Everything is hooked up. Obviously, there's definitely a flywheel issue, and that is causing that horrible sound. Everything is plugged in. Is the battery just that useless? Alright. It has been a very long day. I've just been doing more. And then every time I do more, it's like there's more. And then more. So, y'all just saw me throwing down some dimes. Look at this. I'm not even a welder. Look at that. So I tacked all these pipes that got clamps on them. Don't worry about that one. You didn't see that one. And I may have burnt a hole in the pipe up there connecting to the header collector, but we're not gonna worry about all that because we got other issues that actually matter. But what I can show you It's pretty cool. No, I tried. I tried to be a legend, and it didn't work. I tried to weld a nickel. Hey, don't look. Don't worry about what it looks like. I tried to weld a nickel to block it, and ended up just making a bigger hole right there. So we're just gonna throw down. Oh, hold on, let me get you. Sorry. We're just going to get some exhaust tape from the parts store tomorrow and call it good. Because I'm cooked, chat. I'm beyond cooked. Just got this third starter put in. We've done things. So throttle cable is 90% on. I just gotta decide where my throttle blade's gonna sit, and then I can nip this and set it in there flush. Still can't find an oil cap, which is great. I took the power wire for the harness that goes to the big lug of the starter, and I put it here, and that's running, that's getting power as if it was connected to the starter from here. But I'm going to take this old relay off, and tomorrow I have a 4-way relay with fuses coming, and I'm going to put that on so that I can get all those hot wires off of that single post before we burn another vehicle up. Yeah, what else was there? Just more wiring and testing, but that should have been. Oh, I think the reason why it didn't want to run, I think it was losing 12 volt power at my key on the pink wire from the fuse block that's supposed to have 12 volts while cranking. And sorry. Let me slow down. The pink wire that is supposed to have 12 volts when the key is turned and while cranking, I think it was losing voltage when it was turning over, and that's why I was having such a hard time. So we're gonna throw this guy back on. It's my strong hand. Okay. Let's get her in there. There we go. Are you on? Good enough. Where's my mass airflow sensor? Where'd you go, little buddy? Okay. If we start and run, and nothing blows up, this video will finally be done. Because, one, I'm done. Two, we had a major setback, and that is, can you guess? If you guessed Anthony, aka Krusty, aka not Guido today, wrong length. It's too long. Somehow I measured incorrectly, and it is 1.5 inches too long. So I had to bite the bullet, take the bullet straight to the dome, and order another one. That one's 59 inches. I had to order one 57.5. What I did was I was rushing, and usually I'll put a slip yoke in the back of the transmission, and I'll pull it out 1 inch, and then I'll measure center of U-joint from there to the center of the U-joint on the rear end with the vehicle all the way down on the ground, which I measured it the first time with the weight all the way down, with the vehicle all the way down on the ground. But I didn't measure it with the slip yoke in, and I was guessing, and obviously $350 later, I'm an idiot. So let's hear this run, hopefully. I still might need to put the battery charger on it. It may not have enough voltage. I also need to check if it's charging, but I don't care that much right now. Oh, no, I can't show you my key on ignition power thing because it's too cool and I don't want you to see it. Okay. It's got to be a joke. Somebody's gonna be playing a joke. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm about to put Jeff through a wall. I think I got another bad starter. So, I can't even. One just simple way to test it is I take this and I touch the big post that's getting constant power to the small post where the key would turn it on, and it should nothing, dead, just like this one. So I'm gonna test them with the battery charger. You know, hook one up positive and negative, and manually or try to do it without it being in the vehicle. But I'm done. I'm so done. It's ridiculous. So I will see you on the next one, where hopefully it at least is moved. Well, hopefully it's just at least starting at this point. I was gonna say moving under its own power, but I'd like to get back to running. That would be nice. So later, Gator. See you on the next one.